In this video, I'll show you guys why White Forest is the answer to the next format, with cards like Flamber's Dragon and the Synchro Poplar allowing us to special in the opponent's turn and having more removal. With the White Forest field spell, we can search and find the new Diabellstar monster, which halves your life points and pops any card on the field. We can go into any AZAMINA fusion, including the new one, by tributing Saint AZAMINA and an opponent's monster. That's one of the best removals in the game, and the deck now has it, and it's very easy to pull off that combo. So I'm going to show you in the video a 1-card combo and also the new deck I'm running. This is the most competitive version you're going to see, so stick around, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys there. Alright guys, so starting off with the main deck, we've got 2 copies of AZAMINA. Because everything's searchable, we don't need to run too many copies. The good thing is it's an illusion that fusion summons, and then on Synchro Summon we'll search a Sinful Spoils card. The next card we are running at 3, so this is, this card gives you the biggest plus in the deck. This card will send a spell trap to Graver's cost and search and special in the same effect, which is quite broken, but it does mean you can lose to Ash Blossom, which can be quite annoying. Moving on, we've got 3 silver. This is the other card. This is the normal summon of the deck. As for the actual other monster, the AZAMINAs, we've got Queen AZAMINA and the new Diabellstar monster. So everyone knows Diabellstar the Black Witch. The name is important now because if you have 2 or more Diabells when you resolve Vengeance, you get to special a Tuna Synchro from the extra deck with Vengeance. This card is a really good power creep to the deck, and you can hard summon it. It counts as a Sinful Spoils card, which means you can send it with the AZAMINA fusion spell and pop off, which is quite good. If the opponent doesn't deal with it, you win the game. That's kind of how it feels. It feels like Runic when they get a draw 3 off and you can't disrupt them. I'm not sure why you wouldn't play this if you're not playing pure. When he goes grave for the AZAMINA fusion, it comes back to the field. There's another requirement, and it's level 8, so you can use this and a level 2 light monster, make Chaos Angel, or make a rank 8 as well, which the deck does have space for. With Diabell's the White Witch, you can send a spell to grave, which is usually the field spell. Then you send a Diabell spell trap card to the graveyard, and then that gets you the whole engine to find Vengeance. Diabell's is also like Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. All your monsters come controlled by card effects. It's got an Ash protection, which is super low key. That helps a lot. So you can't get lightning stormed. Everything can stay in attack mode. It's pretty good. Alright guys, moving on to the spells and traps. We've got 1 Sinful Spoils of the White Forest. That's the fusion spell. We've got 2 copies of the Tales of the White Forest. Yeah, these are all the new cards, guys. This card is really important. You can fusion summon on the opponent's turn as well, make Guardian Chimera. You have Saint AZAMINA, which you can make in the 1-card combo. I'll show you how we use this card, and make the Omni Negate Silver in the same chain, which is quite impressive. Tales of the White Forest, I've bumped this down to 2 because the field spell kind of acts like the same card, although the field spell is like the last resort. You don't really want to be resolving this without summoning some AZAMINAs, in my opinion. Guys, a lot of people don't play AZAMINA Dares, and I'm not sure why. This card is a quick play version of Hallowed AZAMINA. On the 3rd turn, you can banish it and special on any AZAMINA fusion, or just any AZAMINA is reason enough, I think so. And also, it's the 2nd card you can search if you've hard drawn something. That means you don't need the Hallowed AZAMINA. So Wish of the White Forest, the new field spell. So this card activation will search a White Forest monster, which is usually Diabell's the White Witch. But also it can make a White Forest monster a tuner. But then also the first time each White Forest will be destroyed by battle, it's not. To be honest, it's just a searcher, but it does lock you out of the dark monsters in the extra deck, which is why I guess the Vengeance card and the quick play fusion spell is needed, and AZAMINA Debtors, which lets us play around the lock that this field spell gives. But overall, a really powerful card. And finally, we have a field spell for the deck. In the graveyard, you can banish it if opponent wants to activate something, or if they're going to Ash Wanted. You banish this and you negate that card. So this card can be Omni Negate for your whole deck, especially if you're going 2nd or even going 1st. If you dump it with, let's say, Diabellstar or any of the White Forest cards, if you get drolled, you set this down, and it's going to help you win the game because they're down 1 card and you still made a board through droll, which is the killer of the format. And then the new cards, Filler Diabell and Curse Diabell. So Filler will search or special the new Diabellstar if they have a monster on the field. I'm trying to think of ways we can use that effect, because then it's a Sinful Spoils name, which you can send as an AZAMINA material, and then summon it from the graveyard by banishing a spell and trap. So you can summon from the graveyard as well. You should definitely check out my other video on the deck where I nuked the whole board. I don't think people even know it has a board wipe effect, but there you go. So you could even run this at more than 1, going first after siding, potentially just to board wipe. Guys, for the next part, let's keep it really simple. We're running some hand traps here just to help us win the game. We've got some non-engine, we've got some engine cards, we've got Triple Tactics, Talent, Thrust, and Call by the Grave. So these are kind of the new non-engine we're running. I took out Nibiru, I took out Droll. I've got them in the side deck though. But let me just remind you guys, Triple Tactic Thrust on going 2nd the opponent's turn will give us Phyllis Diabell, which specials Diabellstar Vengeance and pops off. So maybe Thrust is a card everyone should be running in White Forest. I think that is reason enough. Also, you can search Terraforming, which gets the field spell if you want to run Terraforming, but you can also search the White Forest Searcher. So I think there's a lot of reasons why we should really consider Thrust in this deck. So that's why you're seeing it in the non-engine, something I've added. Alright guys, so for the extra deck we're running one Diabell, Queen of the White Forest, one Sealer, one Silvera, one Snake-Eyes Vengeance, one Poplar White Forest, one of the new AZAMINA Fusion. So this is our new extra deck lineup. We're not running Fiendsmith, but if you want to run Fiendsmith, I think you need to take out either Crush Sheep, the Snake-Eyes Doom Dragon, maybe Snake-Eyes Vengeance, and the Poplar Synchro, potentially AZAMINA, but then, you know, you're not running the new cards, which I think work even better with the engine of the deck. Let's talk about it though. The new cards, as Snake-Eyes Vengeance Dragon, quick effect could put a monster from the field or grave in the back row. It stops you using the effect the turn after, but in the battle phase, you can pop a card on the field and in the back row. So imagine you do Snake-Eyes Vengeance, you pop a card, you summon Poplar Synchro, Synchro with any of the level 8s on the board, then you make Vengeance, you put a card in the back row, then you pop the back row. Guys, that's like 3 disruptions for 1 field spot. That's why the new engine is really powerful. But if that wasn't enough, Poplar White Forest on summon will add 2 White Forest names into the back row, setting up our Snake-Eyes Doom Dragon. But one of the best follow-ups in the game now, because of all these cards having second effects, third effects. You've got AZAMINA, the Fusion card deserves its own video. But basically, if your opponent has a monster with 0 attack, its effects are negated. It's the floodgates, and this effect so happens to work with the Chilago, because this gives a debuff to the opponent's attack and defense, meaning if they have a monster that's like 400 attack, so at some point in the game in the combo, you're gonna have a board where they can't activate any monster effects. So that's what's really good about the AZAMINA Fusion. The most important part though, of course, the Saint AZAMINA are very easy to summon using 2 Sinful Spoils cards. You can just tribute an opponent's monster and Saint AZAMINA, which after the fusion effect it can do to summon another AZAMINA, tribute and summon the new AZAMINA monster, which is 4k guys. This card is not going to go away anytime soon. Because it can't be by card effects, you have to destroy it by battle, which is hilarious because it's 4k, and then it's going to sit there as a floodgate and you're going to win the game. This card is super powerful guys. Highly recommend playing it with the Saint AZAMINA monster, which again cheats out any AZAMINA monster from the deck or extra deck, which, you know, you could even summon a Regina to bring back an illusion and keep comboing from there. This is the final lineup we're going to be running for AZAMINA White Forest. I don't think we need anything else in the deck. This is perfect. The only card missing to make this deck true tier 0 deck is original Sinful Spoils. And if you want me to cover this deck with Snake-Eyes involved with the new ban list, let me know in the comments down below. That is something I'm excited to do, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely make sure to comment about that below. What other decks would you like to try on the channel? But without anything else, let's go to the 1 card combo. Let me show you guys what's possible with the new support. Alright guys, so for this 1 card combo, we're going to use Elza and any discard. So let's go ahead. I'll show you guys what's possible with the new White Forest support. We're going to send Infinite Permanence to grave to special Elza and search a White Forest monster. We're going to normal summon Sylvie, search for the White Forest spell card, which is very important as we make the synchro. We need to send a card to the graveyard. But yeah, let's go ahead and synchro. Speaking of, send these to the graveyard. Let's go ahead and synchro summon Sheila. This card on summon is going to send a spell trap to grave and allows to search for a White Forest card. And in the new chain, we'll set the spell as well, which is pretty good. So let's search for the card, which is the field spell, which can use right at the end of the combo. We can force them to use Nibiru by ending the main phase. And once the Nibiru, we do the Witch of the White Forest and build another board. Add Tells the White Forest to the hand, and then we set this to grave because it was sent to graveyard, and then we also get to use it. We're going to search for the new Elza AZAMINA. We're going to reveal it and special summon to the board. We don't have a way to fusion summon, but if you're going first, you have other cards in your hand, it's likely you can perform a fusion summon for a Silvera. So that's why we like to run more copies of Queen AZAMINA. Definitely something to mess around with. Maybe run 3 and turbo out Omni Negates. Link 1 is Elza AZAMINA to search. We're going to chain block that by adding a spell from grave to hand. Doesn't matter what you send, but let's add the Infinite Impermanence. Let's search for the wanted spell. Let's activate the wanted spell and let's search for Diabellstar. Now the card we just added, we can send that to grave. So we're going to send the Infinite Impermanence, summon Diabellstar, effect of Diabellstar, set the Deception. From here, obviously we can go ahead and shuffle back the Sheila to summon the Sylvie. But I mean, there's so many other things you can do here. What I'm going to do is activate the Deception, tribute Diabellstar, search for the AZAMINA spell, and then from here, let's keep going. Hallowed AZAMINA, send Deception, we'll summon the Chilago. We're actually going to shuffle back Elza AZAMINA and add Hallowed AZAMINA to hand. We're going to set up something really cool here because we've got a nice play here. Check this out, guys. Sinful Spoils, Hallowed AZAMINA is chaining 1, Sinful Spoils, White Forest as chaining 2. We're going to fusion summon these two monsters now and create something really cool. We've got those in the grave now, so there we go. And then obviously send these two to grave, bring out the Omni Negate. You're probably wondering what that is. Here we go. There's even plays where you can make this early on if you're scared of Nibiru, but in my experience, guys, I've been Nibiru'd with 4 boss monsters on the board and I've made 4 more, so I'm not scared of Nibiru. If anything, I want them to activate it just to see what's up their sleeve. Maybe I've got a Thrust or a Talent in hand. We can always set Silvera, the trap card, as an Omni. We've got the Silvera, we can bring it back if we have Debtors. A lot of ways to play for Nibiru anyway. The turn it's fusion summoned, we can special an AZAMINA from deck or extra deck. In this case, I am going to summon it from the extra deck. That's going to be AZAMINA Mora Regina. Mora Regina, by the way, will special Diabell from the graveyard. So that way we still have that cool interaction with the Book of Moon, White Forest Synchro. Probably the best card in the game, guys. That card is not once per turn, so you keep special summoning it. If you play the White Forest Trap, you have another way of summoning it by shuffling it and then, you know, bringing back monsters on the board for synchro materials. It's really funny, it's really busted, and it's a good counter to Malice. Now, saying AZAMINA again, if you're going second, this is not a dead card. You can trip the opponent's monster and saying AZAMINA to make the AZAMINA fusion, which is a 4k beast stick. In this case though, we're going to actually shuffle back the Chila synchro monster, and we're going to go ahead and summon the Sylvie. This is going to give us another body for a pretty cool play, guys. This is going to be the Cross Sheep now. We're going to use these two as material. Now, Regina's Vex is going to go off. We're going to special summon a Illusion from the graveyard. That's going to be Diabell. Now, this is going to be the new Chaining, guys. Chaining 1 Cross Sheep. Well, it's the only Chaining 1 Cross Sheep. But because you have a Synchro and a Fusion, all these guys are getting attack boost, which is busted. Silvera most likely dies by battle. Not in this case, it's now 2600, guys. That's without taking into account any attack boost. Maybe use some of the AZAMINA Fusion on the opponent's turn. Guys, this is pretty busted. So let's keep going here. We're going to special summon a level 4 or lower monster. You can do Elza of the White Forest. In fact, I'm going to do Elza of the White Forest as there's some other plays we can do later on. We're going to activate Witch of the White Forest now, guys. It's time. Let's go into the new Diabellstar monsters. Diabell's the White Witch. We're going to send the White Forest to grave, special summon, and then send to grave the Curse of Diabell. When sent to the grave either by hand or deck, we can then search a Diabell spell trap. Let's fill a Diabell, and then this card will search us the new Diabellstar Vengeance. So, guys, that's a pretty full board here. Let's use these monsters on board to make a play. So I like the protection Diabell's has. Let's keep that on the board. The only 2 cards I see is Elzef and Cross Sheep. Now, guys, this can get even crazier. This can make Gigantic Sprite if you're feeling crazy. I just realized that. But we're not going to do that, obviously. We're going to send this to grave and just keep it simple. Summon an SP Little Knight. And then from here, we can, summon the Diabellstar Vengeance by banishing a spell and trap. That's going to be Filler Diabell and Curse of Diabell. And with Filler Diabell, we get an attack boost. Everything gains Foundry attack. That's a Diabell monster. This is 3k, 3k, and 3k. And then in the end phase, remember, guys, we have Wanted to shuffle and draw 1. We have Deception, which sets itself face down. And we've got a random draw, and we've got Deception face down. So that is the end board. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. What would you like to cover next on the channel? And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.